Hi,
Hello,
I'm Julian.
and I am Tom.
We are Team Binge. We are here to talk about Rooster, Season 1, Episode 9. This one was called Ludlow's Fourth Hottest Professor, which we are talking about Katie, we find out during this episode. And Tom, I'll say, there was a much anticipated hockey episode coming down the pipe. We've talked about it several times. They gave it to us on this episode, and I gotta say, it was fine. It was fine. I laughed during some of the show, but we seem to move at a pace that is like quite quick during an episode. So there's really the payoff I find for me struggles a little bit. So like we've brought Greg in to coach, but then I have questions about Greg's coaching and why this episode was important. But I'll stop there and just say, how much did you love on a scale of 9 to 10, Tom? How much did you love this episode?
I give us a 9.2.
Nice. Okay.
I mean, again, like I feel like I have soured a bit on this show, and this episode to me didn't really help much. I mean, as episode 9, this is the penultimate, so it's our last one going into the finale, and trying to set up this stuff with Katie and Archie yet again at the end of this. I'm like, when Archie's head popped up in that diner, I was just like, slapping my forehead. It was just like, are we really still doing this? And this is how you're gonna leave this off? Like, I get the general concept. You want Katie to make her own mistakes. She has the speech, but there's a lot of like blame happening that I don't think is really warranted. I still don't know where Greg's motivations are and what he's learned or changed season. I have a lot of questions. And again, still some comedic moments that I still find myself laughing at, but there's a lot of like kind of jokes that fell flat for me this episode, especially with like, you play like girls. I feel like what decade are we living in? So yeah, it wasn't my favorite.
To Greg's point, though, Tom, if you did put a team of little girls against a team of grown men, they would literally be murdered. So I do think it's funny. You put him in the disciplinary board, he, like, makes the comment again, and they're like, oh, Greg, I'm going to miss this. Like, they just, like, smile at him, and they're like, okay, this is just cute at this point that he doesn't know not to say those things. Also, I got to be honest, who on the hockey team is complaining that they were called? I mean, the drunk coach is clearly called them worse and done worse. Like, why did little girls get him sent to the disciplinary board? But
why he is not there and Greg is, I don't know. And they even want him back later in this episode. There's questions.
I thought it was very funny because you, like, early in the season were like, man, this disciplinary board bit is getting old, and then they like left it alone for several episodes, and then boom, we came back with this, and I was like, I don't want to play my cards here, but I find it a little bit strange that this was what put Greg in that disciplinary board, where once again we've had a pretty problematic coach that they want back. We have the conversation with Dylan, Greg, and the coach where they're like, hey, can you come back and coach when you get out of rehab? It's like, what are we doing? Fire that guy. What? Why are you even? And then Greg's judgment to bring him back, and I know it plays for comedy, but for Greg's judgment to bring him back before the game to be like, oh, all the players want to hear from you, coach. Who's making that decision in real life? It's terrible.
Maybe this is the Rooster in him. He's making these terrible decisions that his character Rooster would, but normally Greg wouldn't. I don't know.
I don't know. We started this episode, and we're not going to go scene by scene. I just don't have it in me. But we started this episode with like Greg mentoring Tommy, and I was like, fine. And we went hard R in the beginning of this one with some oversharing and then just some things that were said that I was like, all right, fine. I get it. We want to be like over the top. That's cool. But
and he's not really even mentoring here. Like, he's just like telling him, hey, do better or keep working. Like, there's no real meaningful conversations happening. It's just all kind of yada yada.
Yeah, we're really going back to this 14-pound baby well quite a bit. As many times as Archie and Katie are going to go back and forth, we're going to get this 14-pound baby Tommy brought up quite a bit. And then the one bit I did think, not the one bit, there were several things I found funny in this episode, but where Katie and Greg are off to ride e-bikes and she puts her helmet on too early, and he, like, it's a kind of a funny showism that he, like, clocks, hey, you put that on way too early, do you want to take it off?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I also felt like we got a lot of snow in this episode, so I know I was kind of questioning whether this was an East Coast, West Coast kind of thing. And even though maybe this was shot in the West Coast, clearly this is East Coast with the snow. And they even like mentioned Boston, I think, a handful of times, used Boston accents. So I apologize for thinking that this was on the opposite coast.
No, it's fine, Tom. Pruitt is the West Coast team. These guys, the Luddites, are the East Coast team. So that's what we learned. Mm-hmm. We also learned that Archie and Sonny are going to make a go of it in the last episode, which turns out is probably not going to happen by the end of this episode. But Sonny tells Walt that she's declining the biotech and she's going to stay with Archie. And, Walt's like, hey, I support you. Go with God, do whatever.
Do whatever is right for you. Another great mentoring moment.
Right. It's like, okay. But then her and Mo are like, oh, make sure Archie is committed to you. And it's like, how is she going to do that? She's going to go to Archie and be like, are you committed? I feel bad for Sonny in this whole show because not only, she's obviously not blameless. She knew he was married, but I don't know. Yeah.
She doesn't seem to be having these conversations with him. Like, there hasn't been meaningful discussions. Like, we had the last episode, like, you're reading a book.
He read the parenting book. He read the parenting book. He solved it. Come on.
Yeah, so instead of having a conversation, it's just you, I guess, actions sometimes speak louder than words. So sure. But, yeah, again, it's like, Sonny, they're not writing Sonny's character well of her having a lot of agency here and, like, really putting pressure on Archie. It's just all yada yada, and everything is told from Archie's perspective, which... Again, like I just don't care for his character. And like we jump into the next scene and it's Archie struggling, and I've always loved watching Archie struggle. He was struggling because his hair was disheveled.
Sure.
Classic lassoism.
Classic lasso. Yep.
But yeah, I don't care about Phil Dunster's character in Archie. He's just mean for the sake of being mean and a terrible person. And I wish we would focus more on Sonny.
Yeah, that's fair. I want to say. I found myself so kind of, I don't know, not disappointed, but the beginning of this episode threw me off that by the time we get to Archie being like, I don't know, he's had too many energy drinks and he's clearly losing it. And it is quite funny. And Phil Dunster as an actor is like going for it. But I was so like backpedaling from the beginning of the episode that I didn't find this as, I don't know, it was funny, but I just I don't know.
I'm with you.
And I love energy drinks. You and I are both big proponents of energy drinks and cocaine. We love both of them. We love mixing them. So
together,
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm with you. Like, it's just they don't have a good enough character development with Archie to like make me think these moments are fun. Like, I like seeing him like lose his plot here, and I don't know. Like Dylan kind of confronting him, like, "Oh, you got to make sure you go back into teaching." And then he doesn't
stop canceling classes. All right, thank you, Dylan. Yeah,
doesn't even cancel classes. Makes his students read his book as we get later on, and continues to cancel classes. Like, I don't know. I'm done with him.
Sure, that's fair. Well, you're not, because he comes back several times in this episode, and he's gonna like. I don't even know what they're trying for the finale. What do they want us to root for? Are we supposed to be rooting for him and Sonny? Are we supposed to be rooting for him and Katie? Feels like they want us to root for him and Katie. I am not. Like I just am not. I want all of them to like go off on their own, I guess. We already touched on it, but we got a quick cut. The thing I did find a little bit funny about this coach that's going through rehab is like, he's like, well, I replaced alcoholism with gambling. And he's like,
that was good.
The bit where Dylan is walking up the stairs and he's like, I'll bet you $50 she turns back around. And Greg's like, I don't think you should be betting. This is terrible. But fire this guy. Don't bring him back. They haven't shown us like him being a good coach. We're not rooting for this guy to come back. And honestly, it's a reflection on Greg that he's like, oh, all the players want to see you again. No, they don't. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, like they just keep bringing him back. And I just don't think any of the writing for this coach is even that like good. Like, you can make a coach like be a jerk and like still have like funny lines, but I feel like they're all just and hurtful, and like him being the like surprise guest in the locker room to give this like motivational speech was just terrible and like
I
hard to
wanted,
even listen to and watch. It wasn't funny.
I wanted it to be Shoresy. I wanted Shoresy to be out. This guy,
Agreed.
this actor, I know someone wrote us and said they enjoy this actor, and I think he's doing a fine job. He's got a lot of like Ike Barinholtz energy. Like that's
Yeah, I can see
exactly
that. Yeah.
who I see whenever he comes on screen. But we find out with. I'm sorry, is Tommy living with Greg? Is that what I'm like? Why
I
is
was so
Tommy always in the
confused,
living
too.
room? Why are these three
Yeah.
a family now? Katie, Greg, and Tommy. And we like, this is just exposition. So they're like, oh, mom's coming into town. Cool. And then Greg has always encouraged Katie. Like, and I didn't understand this. Like, she's mad at him at the end of this episode. Like, what father isn't going to try and give his daughter like as much opportunity and like try and help her get a leg in the door? And like, I understand her complaint is like, oh, you're not letting me have my own life, but I don't know that, it's nice to have some family connections, to have some advantages. Like, you should feel secure enough as a teacher to know you're doing a good job, that like, oh, just
Exactly.
because they helped you get the job, I don't know. This really threw me for a loop.
Yeah, and I don't want to jump the gun here, but like there's like the Connie Britton of it all when she kind of comes back. I would argue everything that Connie Britton is telling Katie as her mother is 10 times worse because she's not involved and still doing all these things behind the scenes, behind her back. Whereas Greg is like there for her. Yet she suddenly turned on Greg as opposed to her mom. Like, I didn't understand all of that.
When she starts to go after her mom is like, well, you know whose idea it was. And she like throws Greg under the bus, which I think is insane. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense because in that one episode where we had Connie Britton before, these two, Katie and Connie, are talking like best friends, and it's like, oh, we have such a wonderful daughter-mother relationship. But then in this, Katie's finally like, well, you weren't really all that involved as a mother. And it's like, well, like, that should have maybe come up before. You guys pitched us that this family was really close. I don't know. It was just,
there was kind of like some signs in terms of like I don't know what her character is. Connie Britton's character's name, but
her name is Connie Britton, Tom. She's Queen,
Sure.
Queen Connie Britton.
So when Connie and like Greg were having like their outs, like you figure, okay, that's just ex-husband like kind of jabbing at each other. But like we find out that apparently she's just kind of a monster and a bad mom, I guess. Is that what we're supposed to take away?
I guess. I don't know. Also, I don't know that I really need the professor asking a student, like, how hot am I? This is a little bit strange. Like,
So weird.
all these professor-student relationships are wildly too close. There's too much fraternization going between all these people. But we find
Agreed.
out that Katie's on a list and she's the number 4 hottest teacher. So cool. I mean, I'm assuming Archie's number 1. Is Greg on the list? Do guest lecturers make it on the list? Tom, let's rank all the people on this show, hottest to not hot. You go first, and then I'll follow.
I feel like I'm back in high school again.
So silly. Anyways, yeah. Oh, you mean back in college where we ranked all of our professors on hot or not? Oh, golly. Once again, these students and these teachers too close. Archie makes all of his students read a 600-page book, or like, I don't know. This was funny. I did laugh at some of this. I laughed at the idea of him like submitting this to his students, and all he wants is positive feedback. And
Of course.
like, that's what any writer wants. They're like, hey, can you read this and give me your thoughts? And all they want to hear is what's good about it, because the criticism just hurts too much. But that's beside the point.
What is he even writing here? We know it's like some Russian literature. Is it like a expose on the Kremlin? Like I couldn't make a sense for what he's
I'm assuming it's
writing.
like a Russian history. It's nonfiction, right? It's got to be. Honestly, I don't know who. Forgive me. Please don't write me emails. I don't know who Pushkin is, but I'm assuming it's just like a Russian history book.
I think this might be like a Russian space opera. Maybe it's like a sci-fi kind of thing.
Sure.
I think that'd be a lot more fun.
Sure, the Ruskies Star Wars. I gotcha. I understand.
Cosmonauts, yeah.
Yeah, it's Ivan
Wait, try that.
Ivan Skywalker and
No, it's right there. It's cosmonazis.
No, good job. Good job. I like it. All right. Why are Archie and Sonny driving together to look at Greg's house? What what happened to this car? What?
Oh, was it the Katie thing? I think he had Katie on it. That's why maybe you had like red paint pulled off, maybe. But yeah,
at a certain point, call the police. Like, they shouldn't be wrecking your weird, cool European car. I was saddened for Archie. This is the only moment I was saddened. I was like, I can't believe they ruined your paint job, bro.
But yeah, like, why he's so like vindictive and going after Greg's house, and like he's like saying, oh, he's filling it up with positive vibes. Like, I don't. Like,
well,
what?
I didn't think it was vindictive. I think it's just logistics. Hey, Greg's going to leave. This is a home for faculty. It's going to be open. And I guess he's trying to do something sweet for Sonny, being like, hey, this is where we're gonna raise little Pushkin, our baby boy. I don't.
But it's like a staff house. It's not like a home. Like, I don't know. And his last home just got burned up in a fire, and we just yada that.
A staff house can be a home. Anything can be a home if you put enough
you lay your hat.
Russian first edition old literature books in it that you burn. And
remember when his house burnt down and we just moved on?
Yes, I do, Tom. I do. I'm on episode 9. I remember the pilot. Like, I'm here. I do appreciate. Listen, it'll never not be funny to me when someone creatively gives someone the middle finger. I love it. It's great. I just watched Ocean's 11 with my kids for the first time. And when the acrobat, they shove him into the tank to send him into the vault, and he gives them the finger because they make some joke. My kids thought that was the funniest thing in the world. My kid loves Top Gun simply because of the foreign relations bit where he gives
the bird.
The bird. Yeah. Anyways, my kid is singular in his humor, I guess. All right, we have Greg and Walt talking, and they bring up. Wouldn't you know it, Tom, whenever we need like some sort of plot device, we're like, well, the budget says we got to get rid of the hockey team. And Greg's like, no, we got to fight for it. What does Greg care? Greg's gone in 3 days. What are we doing here? Like, they've given us no reason to believe Greg truly cares about the hockey team or the program. He's leaving.
Yeah, because this is the first time we've seen him maybe once at practice, and then he got hit in the face with a puck very quickly. He's done nothing to like show his mentoring with these kids outside of this episode, and I would argue he's doing a pretty poor job.
Yeah. Yes, the way they win this game. Let's hold it. When we talk, I've got so many thoughts on the game. Like, Shoresy would be proud, but I don't feel like this is how you win at hockey. But anyways, the other plot during this is, okay, so Katie is now the master of her fate, so she once fast-tracked tenure, which I just think I would love to hear from someone who's in the collegiate professional realm. Like, how silly it is to walk up to someone and be like, hey, I want to be fast-tracked to tenure. It's like, yes, every professor does. That's the whole goal here. Like, you didn't have to come and tell me, but Katie's gone to Dylan, and she gives her, like, 3 reasons, and Dylan's like, okay, yes, like, tenured, or 5 years from now, tenured. What is happening here? This is not how this works, right?
They threw around the word tenure a bunch, and I know of the concept, but I don't get any of this. I don't know what it really means. It just means, like, you can't be fired? Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's like job security, and then, yeah, there's other benefits, I'm sure, but, yeah, essentially you have a job for life. You don't have to keep competing for your job.
Yeah, and it's just like wild. It's like, name that tune. It's like, I can get tenure in 10 years. Yo, you can get tenure in 5 years. 3 years? No. How about now?
Yeah, like, if your mom shows up, you could have it in a year. And you're like, all right, cool. And that, incredible. I mean, to that, so now we're with Connie Britton and Katie talking. And, I mean, Greg bounced out of this conversation, which these people don't interact like ex-husband and wife and daughter that doesn't think her mom does a very good job. She said it to her face in this episode. But Katie's like, hey, Mom, isn't it funny Dad took that picture of you down that meant he used to love you and now he doesn't? And then Connie Britton's like, oh, no one ever gets over me. And I was like, Connie Britton, that's true, but you shouldn't say it out loud. It makes you sound terrible. And she's like, oh, is it so bad that I want my ex-husband to, like, worship me for the rest of his life and be sad because I left him?
It sure is.
is bad.
It's a terrible thing to do.
Because she's the one that was the adulterer in the relationship. That's just so mean to do that and then like want him to pine over you. That makes you an evil person. But Connie Britton, she could never be evil.
She can't do no wrong.
Not with those freckles that she doesn't hide. Not the freckles that Katie hides sometimes.
Yeah, I just felt like, they brought back Connie Britton just to be like a heel and a jerk in this episode. Like, I mean, we didn't hint at this. Like when they brought her in, like maybe she was like a overpowering CEO that was going to try to take over Walt's job. Like that was going to be our disconnect. But now it's like, no, I'm going to like make my ex-husband suffer. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And he's a guy that doesn't seem to deserve to like be forced to suffer. He seems like a pretty okay dude. So why don't we just leave Greg alone? You know who's not going to leave Greg alone, Tom? Pruitt. Pruitt's not going to leave Greg alone because apparently we care about hockey in this episode, and Pruitt's really good. Wow. Thank you, Joe. I'm excited.
Yeah. Team not very confident in this is Pruitt potential victory, but they get there.
Yeah, and this is where they're on the ice and we get to see Greg coaching. And to your point, he does a pretty poor job of coaching. He like loses his train of thought. He just talks about how good Pruitt is and how there's a player on their team with a mustache, which we all know if you have a mustache in hockey, you're going to score some hat tricks. I loved, listen, this is going to be no surprise to anyone that's listened to us. The cop all of a sudden shouting from the stands and realizing he lost his badge. Comedy gold. I loved it. We didn't go back to the firearm well. We went to the badge. I loved it.
It was so good. He's like, I lost my badge at the movie theater. Like he's like remembering where he left it in thought. So good.
I'm assuming he used it to get free tickets to get in to see, I don't know, Project Hail Mary, the best movie ever made. And
saw it again today with my mother.
There. Oh, that's true. How did she enjoy it?
Oh, she loved it. It was the best part of that was we're in line getting popcorn and soda, and I asked my mom, "Hey, do you know anything about this movie?" She's like, "It's got Ryan Gosling, and it takes place in space." So I'm like, "Perfect," because I think that's a great movie to not know anything about, and she adored it.
Oh, that's awesome! I love that you got to do that with her. We've taken our children twice, and we loved it both times. I would highly encourage people: don't watch the show, go watch Project Hail Mary.
And then buy the Lego set that's sitting on my desk right next to me. It's dope.
Or instead of going to, yes, you do a wonderful job on your Lego set, grown man. Or instead of going to see Project Hail Mary, go to the 15th anniversary of We Bought a Zoo. A lot of We Bought a Zoo hate in this episode. For a show
hate? I thought he loved it.
Okay, that's fair. Fine. They were making fun of it, or they were complimenting it ironically, I think, Tom.
Okay. Did you see this movie?
No.
I feel like we brought this up on pod at some point. It brought up in another show, but
Lord
I don't think I've watched it all the way through.
This is just a punching bag that people go to. I have not seen We Bought a Zoo. But I did think this back and forth was a bit funny. And I thought it was funny up until the part where he called the team little girls. And I was like, I don't know. I've been in a locker room before. I wasn't tremendously, and I'm sure I shouldn't say this on record, I wasn't tremendously offended by this. I was a little bit surprised we went to the disciplinary board. I understand why we were offended by it. And I think Dylan makes a great point. She's like, hey, you shouldn't like define weakness as feminine. Great point. I appreciated that. I just think there are 100 other things happening on this campus that should bring the disciplinary board instead of this.
I do tend to agree. They seem to have a liking for Greg. They just constantly want to pull him into this boardroom.
Right, but in a jokey way. She's like, Greg, I'm going to miss this. And you're like, well, why did you... And all of this to have Archie take the phone call where he gets bad news from his publisher, Brenda, or whatever, that's fine. Honestly... I truly think a missed part of this show is having Greg and Archie interact more. Because Greg being mean to Archie is very funny. Him being like, hey, will you tell Brenda you're the worst? We all think you're the worst. Like that to me. And I know you brought up that you think Greg is mean. He is mean, but he should be mean to Archie because Archie is terrible to his daughter.
Yeah, that's fair. But it was nice to see Archie get this bad news from the publisher. Womp womp.
Yeah, did not care. Good. I mean, and then he lies to Sonny. He's like, oh, how is that lie going to work out for you, Archie? Like, eventually she's going to be like, hey, so are we going to get paid for that book that didn't get published? No, we are not, because it didn't get published. But that's just Archie for you. He's a dirtbag. All right. We then have Katie and Walt talking, and out of nowhere, Walt's like, hey, kiddo, I believe in you. how about instead of tenure in 5 years, you can have it in 1 year? And you're like, oh, that's nice. Well, and then they immediately take this away from us by being like, Connie Britton made it happen. And you're like, because this reflects on Walt, too. Like, I don't know.
He's trying to keep his job because the thing is that she's going for it. Like, I don't know what was said in said meeting that you have to, like how is this even a thing? Like, how could you possibly get tenure in a college in 1 year? Like, it just makes zero sense. Like, I'm sure they could pull some punches or whatever to make that happen, but it just seems wonky.
If I'm doing my math here, she's 31, I think, because she got the job at 28, and I believe she's been on this campus for 3 years. I think she says that at some point. Mm-hmm. So she is 31. Like, 31 is very young, unless it's the Civil War and you're a major general. You can't rise so high at 31. I don't know.
Well, no, a lot of those generals didn't get tenure either, so.
Right. No, they didn't get tenure. They got shot in the face. All right. So, Tom, let's just ask a question. Let's play a little game of who are we supposed to like? Let's spin the dial here. We like Mo. Mo is great. Mo is good. Steadfast in her Archie sucks. Sonny, you should love. Take care of yourself. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love Walt, but Walt is doing some things where he's being manipulated in such a way. And once again, we don't know how, we don't know why. I guess if the manipulation is to take care of Katie, I'm okay with that. But we've also seen him as a pretty poor mentor to Sonny in terms of, hey, the universe will tell you what's going on. It's okay, kiddo. Like, do we like Greg? I mean, let's hold that until we get into the hockey of it all, Tom.
Okay.
I
like Dylan. Let's just stay there. I put this on social media recently. I'm like, this show should be renamed Dylan, and we should just follow her.
That's
like,
a great point.
Everybody else should be an ancillary character.
That's a great point. We love Dylan. We should get more of Dylan. Let's go to the locker room, because this addresses the Greg issue of it all. So we're at the Pruitt game. Greg, as the coach, the interim coach, makes the decision, hey, let's bring back old Drunky McDrunkerson to speak to these players, because they're all going to love it. These players who I think he's punched, insulted, and we find out stole from in a pretty drastic manner. Why, Greg? Why? What's going on here?
It makes no sense. Like, yeah, you want some words from an old friend? I'm like, oh, cool. Who are they bringing in? And then the fact that you bring in this coach again, like, I feel like they're in the writer's room. They think this coach is hilarious. And maybe I'm alone in this. Maybe the stuff he's saying is funny, but I just found it all, like, off-putting and hard to listen to and didn't like any of it.
This is 100%. The speech they need is they need to bring in Shirley Funke, who has TBD, is dying of TBD. They wheel her in so that she can give them a speech about living this moment, you know? That's a deep cut of Arrested Development for you. You're all welcome. Okay, so he starts... I did find this funny, him making amends and being like, essentially, he's like, long story short, I stole from all of you. And it's like medication, a girl, a bike, all of that
friendship.
Stuff.
Yeah.
It's so good. But this leads to the players being all fired up and channeling this anger into just beating on Pruitt in such a way that, Tom, I don't spend a lot of time watching hockey outside of Shoresy, but I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of these guys are going to the penalty box, and when you're down a man, you lose in hockey, right?
Uh-huh. I mean, yeah, they tried to set the tone, but the way they set the tone was the entire game and just constantly doing penalties, yet they still win by, what, 1? It was 3-2 as the final?
3-2, that was the final.
And I feel like everybody in the audience is like cutting to everybody, like all of our different characters, like Tommy and Walt and Cop Hawk. Everybody is just loving this violence, and they cut to Greg, and Greg's like, oh, stop it. But then they win, and Greg's like, yay, this is the best night of my life.
This is the best night of my life. What? How does that make any sense? This just goes to show how important sports are, and that sports don't matter unless you win. That's what I've learned from this episode.
That's what I tell my son in Little League. Yeah.
Oh,
doesn't matter unless you win, kiddo.
And if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's the other thing I would encourage you to teach your son.
Yeah, we got my
Oh,
son. He's doing his Little League baseball. We got him wristbands, and he put little safety pins inside those wristbands. Have him give little
nice.
kids pokes as he goes by.
Nice. You should
That's
100%.
joke. Always Sunny reference. You know?
Yeah, I'm with you. I remember when Matt coached him and Big Bird. I just want you to get him a set the tone shirt and teach him what set the tone means so that he puts a baseball bat into someone's kneecap. That would be great for me. Don't do it unless I'm watching, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. DJ scores, which we're supposed to be stoked about. I do like the coach or the cop in the stands. He's like, hey, raise your hand if your son scored. That's so good.
They do a quick cut to like Crystal and the coach and like
The former
chummy
coach.
chummy.
Drunky McDrunkerson,
Golly.
we'll call him.
I was like, really? Like, sure, maybe they're both a little unhinged in this show, but like, I think I try to make them a thing. I'm like, ugh, Crystal could do better.
I
should do better.
I don't know that that's going to bode well for Tommy, but they're adults. They can make their own choices. So we'll see how
They
it
need to make
ends
their
up
own
in the
mistakes,
finale.
right?
Yep,
Just like Katie said.
that's true. That's true. All right. We then have Katie confronting Connie about, hey, like, I thought I got this job on my own. And Connie's like, you were 28 and you had no professional experience. Surely you knew. Which I would think is even more insulting than, like, you're like, hey, you were too dumb to realize I got you this job. I assumed you knew.
It's all this passive aggressive crap from her mom, and then when Katie even like confronts her at the end of like mom being uninvolved, like again, like to your point, they said earlier, like Connie is now just throwing shade or blame back onto Greg. But I was like very confused. Like she almost made it seem like I thought like Connie said she didn't like want to have kids or something.
She says half of a sentence and gets cut off where she said like it wasn't even my idea. And I was with you. The first implication is like it wasn't my idea to have children.
Yeah.
And I think it was mentioned in the show earlier that Katie was kind of an accident. Is that correct? Or am I making that up based on this conversation?
I don't know. I feel like there was something in this conversation that definitely made me go there, and the fact that you did as well. But then, like in the very next scene, or not next scene, but like soonish, when Greg is confronted by Katie, Katie makes a comment of like her getting her the job. I'm like, well, that's not what we just talked about in the last episode, because the mom was the one that said they got the job. Like, I just don't understand how she's so quick to get mad at Greg just because I guess Connie's manipulating and just does not care about everything that her mom just told her in this scene.
Yeah. The Greg and Katie conversation is essentially her blaming him for helping her. And then in the way that she was going to lose her job after she burned down a house, and Greg was like, he took the job to keep her on. I thought this was already established. Was this not communicated? She didn't realize this. He kept this from her. For some reason in my mind, she knew. Like, he helped her write the apology letter. I thought, didn't he go over to her house and was like, hey, like, Walt will let you keep your job. You just have to write an apology. I guess what was left out was, oh, and I had to take this writers in residence role. But
yeah, like why would that be like the biggest catalyst and like make you get super angry? I was 1,000% with you.
And in that moment, she wanted to keep her job. She wrote the apology letter that clearly stated that, you know, she burned down that house, which, you know, I think would have got her sent in front of the disciplinary board if this disciplinary board, you know, held everyone to the same standard. I don't know. And then Greg's like, she's like, tell me anything else I would be disappointed. And he's like, oh, I play backgammon with Sonny's dad and we FaceTime. I don't know. I'm glad Jerry Gergich is, you know, getting some backgammon on. Tom, what's your backgammon? Am I saying it right? Is that how you?
I think you wrote in the outline backgammon, as in like a creature, but no, it's backgammon.
Backgammon,
and it's a fantastic game. You should learn to play.
Hammett? Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
But
like, I don't get that.
Have two trees that close together. That's a little Nate Bargatze for you. Thanks, folks.
Thank you. I don't get that relationship. Like, we all love Jerry Gergich, but I mean, they essentially are just saying that they're friends for the sake of creating more of a rift with Katie, but it's all the stuff takes place off screen, and they don't show any relationship outside of him signing a book for Sonny's dad.
Listen,
it's
tough. It's tough to be a a guy like Greg in the universe, you know? It's tough to make new friends. So the fact that he found a friend and Jerry playing backgammon, you know, I think it's okay. I think we embrace that for him.
I'm with you.
Know?
Hey, but at least at the end, like Katie says, like she's not mad. She's just sad. And I was like, oh, man, you should have said you're disappointed. That would have been better.
I mean, I can hear my father's voice saying it. I don't know. We skipped it, but, you know, hockey ends. They win that game, and Greg's in the locker room being like, this is the best night of my life. This is awesome. And you're like, okay, I guess. Like, did we win in the right way? Is it worth winning if we just put a bunch of college kids in the hospital? I don't know, you know. I would say yes, but...
The show's telling me I shouldn't say yes. I thought he was going to do like the lasso dance with the kids in the locker room there.
Oh, yeah. All right. And then the more confusing scene is Katie storms out from talking with her dad. She's upset, so she goes to the diner. She's working on her third piece of pie, which is fine. No judgment there. That's half a pie, right? Because a pie typically cut into 8s or 6s. So let's say she's eating half a pie.
Okay.
Archie's there. And it's like, what? Okay. I don't understand this because I know people are conflicted and we're complicated, but she's like, hey, I'm in. If you want me back, I'm in. Now the ball's in your court. And she kisses him. After I don't even know that other than telling her she's the smartest person he knows, what has he done for her in this conversation? He just made her feel good. And I would argue it's probably the third piece of pie that she's, you know, feeling in this moment.
She's on the high of the pie.
Yeah, the high of the pie, as they like to say. Kids, don't do drugs unless you're getting high on pie, I believe, is what our DARE officer told us as kids.
I feel like she's only doing this, like, to spite her father. Like, she wants to make a bad decision, is what it
because
seems
it's her
like
decision?
from the last conversation.
This is what we're doing?
I guess. Because, again, we've had multiple episodes in this season end with her seemingly being fed up with Archie. Yet you use the penultimate episode to bring these people back together, that even though we as an audience know this is going to be a train wreck and not going to end well. Like, I don't know what the arc of season 1 is, how we're going to end this. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I don't get how you satisfactorily conclude this season and set up a second season. It's just it was a frustrating ending scene for the penultimate.
Tom, I think it's important for us to identify that I think you're right. I think this is supposed to show, like, Katie is like, I have agency, and because that, I'm going to spite my father and make a terrible choice with Archie. And I think what is important is for you and I to also voice some decisions we made in our lives that we did despite our fathers. I'll go first. We went back to the Midwest once, and we got firecrackers. And my dad was like, you can't light the firecrackers unless you lay them on the ground. And I was like, yeah, sure, Dad. I then went outside. I lit one in my hand. As I went to throw it, I got right next to my ear, and it blew up in my hand and next to my ear. And I couldn't hear, and my hand was on fire essentially for like a day. Tom, go ahead. What decision did you make that blew up literally in your face in order to spite your own father? I'll wait until you think of a good one.
I don't know if I can top that. I just keep thinking about The Pit, season 2, where I think it takes place on July 4th, 4th of July. Sure. So you have a lot of firework accidents. So I'm just glad you still have all your fingers, buddy.
Yeah, me too. Although I'd be lighter if I had less, which I'm always trying to lose weight. Yours could have been like your dad told you never to take your mom to a space movie, and you were like, guess what? Taking mom to Project Hail Mary. Anyways, we've got one more episode of this show, Tom. I will show up for it because we are contractually obligated. I laughed during this episode. And one of the things Tom and I try not to do is just like rag on a show. We like ridiculous, but we don't like characters or like shows that are supposed to be based in characters and what they do doesn't make any sense. And when they do something, the only reason they do it is for like plot and like that to be unreasonable plot points. And to your point, how many times have we gone back and forth on Archie and Katie? This is not Ross and Rachel, you know. This is not Tom and Diane, or what was it?
Sam and
Diane. Thank you, Tom. Like we just don't care. Like I don't know. This is
I'm with you, man. Like we've potted on plenty of shows that have been kind of like. I mean, I take that back. We generally enjoy most of these shows that we podcast on. I feel like the one that kind of comes to mind is Rings of Power. Like we're big into Lord of the Rings. We did all of those, and we tried the Rings of Power show, and it was similar kind of thing where, like, it was shot well, and there's like some good character stuff in it, but just overall as a story, it just wasn't up to snuff. And I feel like this show is around that same vein where it has the components and the writers and the actors that can do great stuff, but it just hasn't hit me, hasn't hit my wife. I feel like my wife knew about this after the first episode, that this wasn't for her, but she was kind enough to continue on this journey. And she has said she's enjoyed listening to our podcast more than watching the show. So that was very kind.
Listen, you make a great comp. Rings of Power, when they had Gandalf and Sauron, like, just going back and forth with their love triangle, and then Gandalf got that one dwarf pregnant. And then it was like, oh great, is he going to end up with a pregnant dwarf or not? I completely agree. Very similar Rings of Power energy. But let's depart the pentultimate episode, Tom. So many T's. Which there was a T in this episode, that cross with a lowercase t that the coach stole from that player. That joke hit a little bit hard. He was like, he hands him that necklace, and he's like, "Oh, I took you for Jewish." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, that was a lot.
But he didn't use the whole word, to quote Community.
That's true. But yeah, and Archie also had poor American tea at the end, so loads of teas.
That's true. All right, for us, those of you that are joining us and still with us,
to sign off. I love it.
Yeah, I know. You can reach us. You can reach us at teambingepodcast@gmail.com. If you're enjoying it, let us know. Let us know what we're missing about this show, and maybe it's just a turn off your brain comedy that we are not appreciating. That's fine. Tom and I have decided to do Widow's Bay, which I would say is a little bit scary, but an absolute delight in terms of comedy. It's Matthew Reese. It's on Apple, so you can join us as we start that show. Tom, what did I miss?
Yeah, please rate and review us if you have a chance on Apple Podcasts. Right, great way for us to grow the pod. Follow us on the socials at Team Binge or at Team Binge Podcast. I'm very interested in what people think about this penultimate and how it's setting up and what you think might happen in the finale. And like Julian said, please go check us out on Widow's Bay, another Apple TV show, which we've done plenty of. And it's been a fun start. I think it releases either Tuesday or Wednesday nights, and we'll have the pods shortly thereafter. So thank you again for listening, and maybe we're going to be pleasantly surprised. This finale is going to be the bee's knees.
Listen, I'm super excited for Team Binge. I have been Julian.
And I have been Tom. Good night, everybody.